Hey folks, it's TJ, voice of Fee and composer and sound designer on Weave. First off, I wanted to thank everybody who's been listening to our podcast. We've been thrilled to hear that people are enjoying it as much as we enjoy making it, and we can't wait to share more of this story with you. However, making these episodes takes some time, so I'm here with a quick scheduling update. So we have time to make the best episodes we can. Episode 5 is going to premiere on Monday, April 6th. From there, we'll continue our normal bi-weekly schedule until episode 8, which will premiere on Monday, May 18th, before taking another month off to focus on the next batch of 4 episodes. That's the bad news. However, there's tons of good news too. First off, to stave you over until episode 5's release next month, we have a little talkback the cast recorded several months ago about the first 4 episodes of Weave. That's this episode here, and we hope you enjoy it. Additionally, we're starting a new, more casual bi-weekly podcast called Orb Support. In this, mystical spellcasters have been locked in a high tower, cursed to answer a mysterious orb-based helpline that retrieves TTRPG-related questions from the ethereal mists. If you'd like to submit a question or call for aid from the mists, please see the link in the doobly-doo. More information, including where to find Orb Support and the premiere date, to come soon. In the meantime, if you love our show and want to help it grow, rating us on iTunes or Spotify and sharing us with friends really, really does help. Thank you so much again for your support. It means the world. And now, on with the show.
Hello and welcome to the Loom, the talkback show for the world of Weave. This episode, we're going to talk about the first 4 episodes, or the pilot of Weave, and who are we? Introduce yourselves, everyone. Just go around the horn.
No, chef.
No, I'm not chef.
That's a great name for
I'm not chef.
No.
I guess I'll introduce myself first because I'm usually last.
Just go around the horn and let everyone know who you play or what you do in the campaign and what else you do around here. If you want to share, if you do other things involved with the campaign or production of Weave. We'll start with the one who volunteered first. Rip it, buddy.
All right. Hello, I'm Clark. I run this. You should already know that, though. You hear me talk too much.
What else do you do around the production of Weave? If you'd like
I guess
to share.
I'm the creative director, if that is even an important role. But realistically, I'm the chief Smurf, and that's about all I do.
Hey Clark, what are your pronouns?
Yes, and chef.
Yes, chef.
So
That's
yes,
correct.
chef. Yes, chef.
All right, who wants to go next? Friends.
I'll go next.
Rip it.
Hello, I'm Zelda. I use she, they pronouns. I am Genevieve's player, and I am our producer for the lovely, I guess, for both Weave and the Loom. I don't run either of them, but I am the one who coordinates our schedule and coordinates our meetings and leads our production meetings and all that fun stuff. I'm also in a band, because I'm going to self-plug myself. I'm in a band called Ebony Darkness, and if it's still around when this comes out, then we're doing something right. Oh, I also help with the music of this show. Dungeon music and battle music is moi, because I am a musician.
You're just in a band.
Yeah.
That's different.
Listen, you can be in a band and not know how to play music.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
Oh, fucking spill that tea.
All right, let's continue on to the introductions, friends.
Yeah, so what's up? I'm Mark. I am Arlo's player. I am also the art director, and I make art. I draw things. If you've seen the world of Weave, there's a chance you've seen my art. Pretty high chance. I think specifically you have seen my art. If you've looked at Weave, you've seen my art. And yeah.
What are your pronouns?
I use some of them, any of them really, but I think probably they, them is usually what I put out there.
Why the fuck are we all being so vague about our pronouns?
Mysterious fucking obfuscate.
Yes, chef. Mark's pronouns are some, I don't know.
Some, any.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Some
My
Sam.
pronouns are actually eternal damnation.
Gender, I hardly know her. Anyway, yeah, sorry. I wish I had better pronouns for you.
All right, here, TJ, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. I am TJ. TJ is me. I play Fee, who I love very dearly. And I also do, for episodes 1 and 2, I did everything audio related. And now I do Jess music and sound design, And I'm so happy to no longer be editing episodes because who is that a lot of work? And so other than some of the battle music and some of the dungeon music, anything gracing your ears is me, except the other players' voices. I am not puppeting people.
Oh, that's
and
also
my
TJ.
pronouns are
I'm actually completely
I am
dubbed
Diego.
by
I am
TJ.
I am great at voices.
Master ventriloquist.
Julia, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, who are you, Julia?
Well, I'm just some guy. No, I'm Julia. I use she, her. I am Hippodamo's player. I also do the editing for the episodes. I'm also involved in the video team. I do the editing for the talkbacks. In theory, we haven't actually edited these yet, but in theory, I'll be doing the edits on these too. So all of the times when you don't hear us saying or like or pausing for 15 seconds or 7 minutes to go look up a rule that we should probably already know, that's because I went in and snipped that out painstakingly.
And there's a lot.
Like totally.
And like totally.
Oh my god.
Wait, I'm gonna look that up.
What the hell else do I do?
Yeah, I need to. Let me corroborate words.
This is also not all that everyone does. Mark and Diego are both involved in the video creation. Zelda does the transcription for the videos.
We just haven't started them yet.
Clark kind of downplayed it, but I know that they're spending like 10 plus hours every week writing for this game.
And I occasionally fill in on the music, very occasionally. I am a composer, so if people want to check out my work, I guess we'll throw a link to my website
There you
in or
go,
some bullshit.
self-plug.
Yeah, I'll be in the
Again.
doobly-doo somewhere.
Yeah. We'll put a link to my band and a link to your website.
Exactly.
I'm also a historian. Please hire me. Please hire me.
Hire
Please.
Mark is a great artist.
Yes, please do actually commission Mark.
And before we head on to my first kind of segment, I don't remember if I introduced myself, so I'm going to do it anyway, and please cut it out if I already did introduce myself. I'm Diego. I play Bond. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm the Loom host. I'm part of the video team, and I think Julia went over basically everything else I do, so there you go. I'm also in charge of the money, Dutch, the money. And I want to start off with, what about that intro, gang? What about that intro? That was a pretty cool intro, right?
Hell
It's
yeah.
pretty cool. fucking
Pretty
intro.
cool intro.
Pretty
Cool
cool
intro.
stuff. I enjoyed it. It didn't feel too long. I thought the pacing was actually pretty solid for a because you know those intro monologues can get pretty fucking lengthy and boring. But I was locked in the whole time. What did everyone else think about the intro monologue? And Clark will save you for last because you wrote it. So let us talk first.
My,
One thing.
Oh, good.
One thing that actually should probably be good to clarify here up top is when we're recording this, we haven't done a lot of the production. I'm editing episode 1 right now, and so we're not going to be talking about any production things or anything like that. We're just going to be talking about episode
That being
stuff.
said, I can definitely tell you right up front, even like sight unseen, the episode's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so good. All those sounds, man,
It's
they're gonna
coming
be there.
together.
All those TJ sounds
The
made by
sounds will be
TJ, they're going to
there.
be there in the TJ cut.
Well,
Yeah.
So I mean, we've
They will
heard
be
one
there.
full episode.
We have.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
we started with episode 2 for various reasons, and it rips. So
I mean, I know one thing for sure about episode 1, and that's Diego got some killer thunder in the middle of the
did.
intro
Yes, that's true.
monologue.
Did. I hope that works out for later on. We have that bit for something. That sound bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give my hot take for the episode right now.
Yeah. You're gonna
Which is
open with a
about the
hot take.
intro.
Oh, but it's about the intro.
I'm
Okay.
opening with the hot take.
But it's about the intro, so
which
it's still on
I
topic.
feel like I've had a hot take in all of these we've done. But my scalding hot... This might be my spiciest take about TTRPGs in general, but I think
Wait.
TTRPGs...
Introducing a new segment, Julia's hot take.
Julia's hot takes. All
Julia's
right.
hot take.
My scalding take is TTRPGs in general, I think, could benefit from more writing and more scripting. So I really appreciate that we opened with that. That we opened with like, all right, here's the vision, here's the mood. That like gets you right into it. You know what the setup is. You've got this like banger intro. 10 out of 10, love that. It really helps me as a player sort of set things. I don't have to worry about like, oh, I don't know, what the hell should I be doing in this game or in this world, because it's just like kind of empty. No, there's a tone, there's stuff to do, and it gets me into the headspace of playing the character immediately.
Mm-hmm.
To add to that, I do enjoy a good cutscene, both as a player and as a GM. They should be used sparingly, because, you don't want to take away player agency, and you don't want to use them all the time, right? You don't want to railroad it. But every once in a while, those key moments of just like, hey, everyone shut up for a sec, because I'm going to monologue. It's good. It's a good way, like you said, to set the tone and really just get everything into the headspace. Or get yourself into the headspace to be in that world.
For sure.
Well, especially with something like this, where we then went, sort of, as I recall it, anyway, it's been a few weeks, basically from the intro into almost like a TV-style pilot episode character intro montage.
Like a slice of life, but yeah. It was very, I like having those vignettes.
I think it fits
almost.
the vibe.
Yeah, so TJ was going to say something.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, like, the coolest thing for me with that intro was that, like, we spent a lot of time. So on our back end, we decided that we were going to do this in April, and we recorded episode 1. I think we recorded it in early July or late June. Thereabout.
June 8th.
Oh, June 8th. So early June. And those like 2 months or so was a lot of time not only collaborating about like our characters, but there are lots of aspects of the world. There are most aspects of the world Clark created themselves, but there were lots of aspects of the world that we came up with as a group. And hearing some of those things like come out in that opening monologue was really cool.
I guess I'll talk a little bit about my thought. Are we talking just about like the opening, like the muses creating the world monologue? Or are we talking about that plus the intro to Pontus Gefyra?
No, just the opening. I just want to drill into that opening monologue, because I think it's a choice to open with a monologue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not uncommon for me, like even in home games, to do that. So like this isn't necessarily a choice that was necessitated by the actual play format. Though I think it really helps in actual play format, especially because like we're doing a lot of sound design and music design there. TJ is absolutely fucking killing with that. Has the rest of the crew here heard the draft of the opening?
Not the current one, but the one from a couple months ago.
It's I mean the current, like, it's so good. It's so
I'll export it later tonight, because I've done another draft of it. I'll export it later tonight and throw it in the chat.
Excellent.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Excited to hear it.
Yeah, but for me, like these sort of opening monologues are, I think, for me, a way to like give to my players. My favorite campaign I've ever run, which was Keep on the Borderlands, I opened with an opening monologue. Same with we played a Traveler campaign, which we'll probably talk more over these talkbacks about that game. That was a fun.
A lot of our inside jokes originate from that game.
We have a lot of inside jokes, and we're sorry in advance, but maybe you'll find them funny even out of context.
Yeah, the opening monologues are definitely like, I want to give a gift to the players. Like, it is, for me, it's like, it's a way for me to be like, hey, I know all of you worked really hard to make your characters. I want to give you something that is like pretty and evocative and like really like throws you into the thing we've been working on for months and months and months. So I spent a couple of weeks really thinking about, what does that monologue look like? What am I mentioning? Why am I mentioning it? What are, what's the deal with all of this stuff? And then there was a layer I never have to think about it, which is, does the audience understand what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Because this game, this idea was so specific. Like, I remember, like, I basically was like about to go to sleep, and I was like, I understand the game I want to run, and I came to you and I proposed Weave to all of you, and
like
the idea,
as someone who has like hung out with these players quite a bit through different games, I did come in late to this specific project. Not so late that like I wasn't able to catch up, but even with the first like descriptions of Weave and what this world was gonna look like, I mean, I was hooked, but it took a lot of explaining and distilling and like getting me to understand the world, which I think we as a whole, and especially Clark, have come a long way from like trying to explain it to me initially to a point where like we can actually turn it over to listeners to understand and be brought into that world.
And I can't speak to Clark, but I think that distilling to someone is actually really useful for something like this, especially because when you're DMing, you're already have these, for us at least, for Clark, 5 other lenses to try to understand what you're trying to get across. And what you're doing this podcast, you have countless of other lenses, so you have to be very clear with your vision. So that distilling, once again, I don't want to speak for Clark, was really useful.
Yeah. I guess the thought I'm having is that, like, the thing that I liked the most about the pilot and, like, doing the editing and, like, going back and experiencing this is just how much we get right into, like, some really evocative scenes. Like, I joke about it a couple times. Like, the one that's coming to mind is, like, episode 1 where Clark's like, yeah, we hear a band playing nearby. Or other things like the massive fucking thunderstorm that happens in episode 2, and all this sort of stuff. It's really nice that, like, from the get-go, there are these huge set pieces that feel really fun and cinematic to play with, and also in-game to, like, be able from the drop to be like, oh, you're gonna go inside a massive fucking snake. Good luck, motherfuckers. Like, it was just really cool.
I thought that doing those vignettes was a really effective thing for introducing all the characters as well. Especially, again, you know, we're trying to... this has a little bit more weight on it, this game, because we're trying to explain not just to the 6 people around, but to, you know, however many people actually tune in and listen to this, what's going on and who these people are and why they should care. But I thought that vignette thing, I'm like probably stealing that for games going forward that I run. Just like, because you so often it's like, oh yes, we're all in a tavern. Let's sit down and spend half an hour sort of awkwardly describing ourselves and introducing ourselves to each other, and it's never a very fun scene for me.
For sure.
This was a lot more like, yeah, okay, we all get to introduce ourselves with these, you know, kind of emotional, important moments for every character, so all the players know everyone and why they should care, and we're not trying to sort of rush through, yes, I am Lady Sad Daughter, whose family's all dead, and here's all my life problems, stranger I just met in the tavern. Like, we already know why we should care, but it can also still come out and be more developed.
Lady
as
Sad
we go.
Daughter's my backup character.
I just spoiled that. I can't believe.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
When Arlo
we have
dies
Lady
in
Happy
episode
Daughter.
5, it's so tragic.
Yeah, all that
Episode 5
emotion
goes way off the rails.
all that emotion has to go somewhere. So, yeah.
The choice
I
of the
think-
vignettes.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think that's just what Clark does really well, is scaffolding for us to be able to build on. And I think
Yes, absolutely.
that's really cool, because it makes it feel way more collaborative than if it was turned over to just us players to make our own fun out of trying to, like, shoehorn ourselves into an adventure.
Yeah, and from like an audience standpoint, the vignette thing that we do is that Clark decided to do. I'm sorry. Is a comfortable kind of structure that people are used to. So people can it's because it's good, it's useful, and people are used to that rather than a bunch of strangers meeting in a tavern. It works better for a narrative. So I think it definitely was like the correct choice.
And to add to that, the way that the 4 episodes started gave us a reason to work together in the immediate. But as of the end of episode 4, we still don't have like a solid reason for us to remain together as a party, and that's what, you know, the following episodes are going to be taken care of.
Hopefully.
Well, so we think. We haven't gotten through that yet.
Okay.
West March's campaign. I'm gonna get you, Clark. I'm gonna get you.
As I said, Genevieve will take care of it. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil things, but yeah.
As far as these people know, we're fucking dead at the bottom of the ocean after that cutscene at the end of fucking episode 4.
That's true. Actually,
Hopefully.
hot tip: there is no episode 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
Stop
Yeah.
before you get
okay,
fucked.
that.
Yeah, episode 5 is Traveler. Get fucked.
Yeah, the tsunami isn't stopped. We all drown.
Rocks fall, everyone dies.
Rocks fall and everyone dies.
I guess for me, like, I'm really happy all of you really enjoyed that format. I guess I want to talk a little bit about prepping this episode.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Which was, this is the hardest D&D prep I've ever done in my entire life.
Understandable.
I spent weeks trying to figure out what the fuck I was doing, because I knew that not everyone knew each other, and I was like, okay, how do I bring people together? How do I bring the audience together? How do I bring them to, and how do I put them all in the same space and have that tell you something about everything that's happening?
But you know what's crazy about that, Clark, is that it didn't feel that different than any of your other campaigns, which I think kind of goes to show, like, your ability to pull things together and then just have it feel so natural and feel like everything else that, like, all of us players have gotten familiar with. Yeah, I mean, I think that speaks really highly to the amount of work that you put in, that it feels effortless.
I mean, I think it speaks highly to all of you that I can do this with you. Because I have run for groups and I've tried to do similar-esque things, and it didn't work. Because you guys are the best players in the world. I don't really know what else to say.
Fuck you, Travis Willingham. I'm coming for you, motherfucker.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love all of you so much. If I was invited to play with Lou fucking Wilson, I would be out the door.
that's
Sorry.
fair.
For him.
Understandable.
I'm gonna be on Dimension 20. I'm gonna be no.
Yeah.
He's got a beautiful wife. Your role plays great. It's not fair.
It is really nice to know that I can, where I can leave my holes, so to speak. Like, yeah, I can talk a little bit my prep notes actually for.
Yeah, please do. I do kind of want to see the behind the scenes a little bit.
I had all the introductions scripted out of, like, this is how I want people to see this person first. These are the interactions I want them to have.
Can you after that? Can you before you move on to the next bit? I want to know a little bit of the why. Why did you choose Bond to come in on a ship? Why did so on and so forth? You know what I mean? After your explanation, I'm just curious.
Okay, so there's like I want to so for Bond coming in on a ship, I think it was really important to understand, like, Kalamkar's relationship to Pontus Gefyra is through the water, and I wanted the sense of, like, there is, I don't want to say it was like foreshadowing something, but one, it gave me a chance to also show off, like, what the Kipsalians do with their boat building. Very important to call out all of, like, the magic of knots. And I thought it, like, let us ease into the city. Like, I could have maybe started with Hippodamo in the middle of the city. That's the other choice I had. It was between starting with Hippodamo or Bon. But I thought Bon had a reason for going to the city that I think really set up a lot of stuff that I'm really interested in, you know, going through this episode 5 onwards, as we'll talk about, you know, the politics of where Pontus Gefyra is and its relationship to its neighbors. And for me, that was, I think, the best choice I could make, knowing everything I know about this world. And it, again, let me move in from the sea to the ports, the center of town, and finally to a really specific house in the Second Ward.
Oh, yeah.
And also, you mentioned you were looking for housing, which was great. It was like a way to drag you somewhere.
Like that alley-oop?
That was, yeah. Making people look for housing is such a convenient way to drag them into a house together.
I mean, I think also, like, just as, like, I'm a historian, so I always have to do the historian thing, but I think that, like, even just when learning about a new place, it often goes that way, right? Which is from, like, political and socioeconomic factors and sort of the important ways that money and people move in a place to kind of, like, looking at, like, larger architecture of the place to then, like, specific individuals that work and live in that space. So I think even just from, like, how history tends to work, I think that's just a really successful and really, like, everlasting kind of storytelling.
Yeah. Also, we were talking about this This is the third Talkback we're recording. We recorded episode 7 and episode 6, and we were talking about this in the episode 6 Talkback. But Clark, I want you to know, since you weren't in the episode 6 Talkback, if you lay a hand on that fucking Inn family, it's on site. I am driving to Indiana.
Clark,
We're coming for
fear
you.
in their eyes. Like,
Coming for
coming.
you. I'm the bloodhound,
Wait,
remember? I'll come for
hang
you,
on. I just
dog.
want to clarify. You're saying if I lay a hand on Alcanoe's family, that you're gonna be really pissed?
Be a
We
little
were
pissed.
theorizing. We were theorizing
Yeah.
a little bit about
We were
Alcanoe's
theorizing.
family.
We were doing a lot of talking about
I'm
it.
not gonna
I would
say,
never.
I'm not gonna say that it wouldn't be an interesting story beat, but like, I might show up at your house
Yeah.
afterwards. So
Yeah, it would also be an
Interesting
interesting
story
baseball
beat.
bat beat, too, yeah.
Clark, do you need like a bodyguard? If you buy me a sword, I'll come over and.
Yeah,
so
early Econda in the worst of ways.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Econda next year is just beating the shit out of Clark for hurting that family.
Clark, you gotta. Clark, you better.
Yeah,
you better-
really cathartic
it's
for
a
5
good
of us.
fence
We just
will be
rent
like
out an
$500-$600. You pony up. I'll make sure nobody lays a hand on you.
The next bit I wanted to get into is the town of Pontus Gefyra itself, because we talked about world building earlier, and this is something we all did have a pretty significant hand in into Pontus
Yeah.
Gefyra. We all actually had a real big session, kind of pulling back the veil a little bit.
could you say we had a gilded hand?
We had a guild event.
We did have.
You could say that.
Yeah, but basically we had a world building session where we just kind of figured out our intro town of Pontus Gefyra, and I think we came up with a pretty unique place. This,
Yeah.
if we want to go over some things that we like about Pontus Gefyra, myself, I think the focus on the canals and that being like the main way they get around is such a cool touch. I love it, and I think that really helps inform kind of the vibe of the city as well.
Mhm.
If anyone else wants to share,
I will die on the hill of Rat with Fins.
Yep.
I will
Rats and
die on
fins,
that hill.
Rats and fins.
Has that even come up yet?
They will.
Yeah, it comes up in episode 1.
Okay.
In the opening monologue.
Oh yeah!
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah!
Yep. Yeah. I was like, I don't think we've encountered one yet, but no, you're right. It was so mentioned. Yeah.
No, when Arlo, I've listened to this so many times and I have a musical beat prepared that the listeners have heard, but no one else here has heard. There is a little aquatic rat that steals a baguette from the office of the Gilded Hand and then falls into the river.
You know what?
Oh, right.
You're
That's
so right.
right.
Yes.
Mhm.
You're so right. I hope that
Yeah,
you have
that
a wet
rat.
squelching sound prepared for that rat.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about like anything happening to Alcanoe and her family, but like, what about the rats? You lay a hand on those rats.
What about what do other people love about Pontus Gefyra?
But the interesting fauna was definitely something that was something interesting because I've never had an experience as a player to be like, hey, can you put this creature in the game? I've never had that as a player, so I thought that was a really fun experience. So thank you for that, Clark.
Oh, thank you.
I've done a little of this. Clark knows. We've played a game called Microscope on many occasions, which is a game in which you build a history for a world. And before you play that game and actually like start figuring out eras and stuff, you go around the table and choose some stuff that you like want to definitely be in the world, which usually ends up somebody will be like, I want mermaids, can we talk about mermaid society? Which I think is I think we were drawing on some of the concepts from Microscope for the world building here. We didn't like actually play it,
for
but
sure. But we definitely did go around and be like, what do you want? What do you not want?
yeah.
Go around, exclude things that you absolutely don't want. Microscope is a great game, by the way. I think I've built 2 settings in it now that I've run in. Actually, yeah, Julia, you and I built part of your homebrew world in Microscope.
And then Windpunk.
Yeah, Windpunk was Mark, I, and a few friends built Windpunk, which is like just a fun kind of cypher RPG system setting. I love that setting, and I was considering actually choosing that for this podcast, but for lots of reasons, like there were people that I'm not in touch with that helped build the setting. I was like, it's better to just clean slate. Here's a new setting that I think fit all of us really, really well.
I was glad that a lot of the stuff we talked about for Pontus Gefyra made it into the first episode and were like important moments. I'm thinking mainly of the frequent storms and we decided on the storms being a thing first, and then from there we started talking about like local customs, and we're like, you know, in this place where there's just catastrophic weather, in real world places like that, people tend to be pretty close knit in their communities and pretty willing to help each other out. So we came up with this idea that in Pontus Gefyra, when a storm starts, you walk into the nearest door, and I don't know if it's legally mandated, but it's basically expected that any door is open to you, and you will be able to weather the length of the storm with whoever's house you just walked into, which ends up being how we get everybody together in episode 1.
That was a fucking godsend for me. I really struggled to like think like how I was gonna get people into that fucking house, and I was reading through the document, and I'm like, oh, that's right, I can just do that, and it's totally fair game. No one's gonna feel railroaded because that's just how it happens.
Yeah, that is the contract in which we agreed upon. Yeah.
I'm a really big fan of the traditions that we kind of came up with as a group. I think
the haggling,
specifically like the haggling, but also what came to mind to me is like the head of Cradleus.
Yes.
I think
Let's not talk about the head of Cradleus.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about
so
that because it
fun.
hasn't come up in podcast yet.
I think it's okay to mention what the tradition is because it's been hinted
It
at.
has been hinted at. Like, y'all... It just so happens that everyone who has sensed anything related to it is not from Pontus Gefyra, so it hasn't, like, pinged on anyone's radar.
Yeah. So, Pontus Gefyra has a tradition where basically every year, the skull of Cradleus appears somewhere in the city. Cradleus the founder, because he basically enchanted his skull that every year it just teleports around somewhere and it resets. And the tradition is if you go on a scavenger hunt for the skull, whoever gets the skull gets like good fortune for a year, and they keep it in their house. The reason Alkanoe's house has that is because she got the skull about 30 years ago.
Exactly, yeah.
Had that mural in
little
there,
bit of lingering necromancy there.
I do hope we stay in Pontus Gefyra long enough to potentially have that come up as a plot point or as like a B plot for an episode or two. Yeah.
The scavenger hunt B plot would be really fun.
Yeah. Or even as like a one shot would be fun.
I would love that.
The hunt we play as the family. We play as Alkanoe's family trying to get
honestly,
the skull.
yeah.
That'd be a
Bonus
fun
episode, scavenger hunt.
That would be a fun
fun.
It like turns out that for the scavenger hunt, Pontus Gefyra fully changes tack. Everyone walks out with like fucking crossbows and harpoon guns. Like, I'm gonna find this goddamn skull.
Pontus Gefyra's got some great stuff. I loved preparing this city. I learned so much about this game and preparing D&D and what it means to have like a political place. But like that's, you know, for later episodes we get more into the politics. But I love this city. I think one of the first things I really want to do when I have time is like write up a city document and be like, here's, if you want to, you know, play a game in Pontus Gefyra, here is the guide to Pontus Gefyra.
That'd be fun. And the guide to Pontus Gefyra would be such a cool little supplement.
You could even make it. We could even like make it as like an in-world item, like a field guide to Pontus Gefyra.
Just Waldo's guide.
Yeah. Just Waldo's guide to Pontus Gefyra.
You're a fucking genius.
I love that so much.
That's why they play Clark the big bucks.
Yeah, that's not a spoiler.
It's not.
It's a mild spoiler. Don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
Because we're going to talk a lot about Pontus Gefyra in future episodes, but what did people think of that incursion?
Yeah.
Very cool.
That was weird.
That was my next
my
segment.
God.
The incursion. Clark's first kind of foray into the encounters we can expect in the world. And whoo, was it a doozy.
Yeah. Mama haunts my dreams, but that's okay. She's allowed to.
I did the suckling. It's the suckling that got me. That's what really hit me.
The suckling with the teeth. Yeah. There comes a point where it's like, it's not, y'all, it's not fucking suckling anymore. You're just biting. You're just biting.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's the human feet. I think that's it for me. I don't know.
That was your thing? Yeah. The suckling is it for me.
It's got so many human feet.
And for me, this is honestly another thing of Clark kind of like honoring my wishes a little bit. Because in our initial kind of talk of Weave, I did mention strange landscapes as something I wanted in the world. And what did we get? A fucking stone ocean. JoJo reference. But yeah.
A fucking walking into that stone landscape and being like, well, this is not water and it is not earth, and I guess go fuck ourselves.
And the image of like the ships kind of being caught like half in it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a cool kind
and
of
the sand, the juicy sand.
I love the idea of like waves turned to sand dunes, like mid crest. Very cool.
Yeah. Because I have done episode 2 already, one thing I can talk about is that originally when I had to record sand foley, because not a lot of good sand pouring foley out there that I was able to find, I was like, oh, you know what would be perfect? I should record hourglasses. I should like get an hourglass and like record how an hourglass sounds. Hourglasses are so fucking quiet. I like held one up against my ear and I couldn't hear shit.
Well, yeah,
and so I had to like
one
go
grain of sand falling.
yeah. Like I should have like fucking realized. I had to like bring a fucking bag of sand and I had to like dry it out in the oven. And fucking,
you do have to dry it out
because it was too wet. It was too wet.
That's
Wet sand does not make any sound. Yeah.
No. It has to be crunchy to get that good kind of pour. I know exactly what you're talking about. Because I had to do Foley once for dirt, and we did the exact same thing. The dirt was too moist, so we had to put it in the oven to dry it up.
I had to bring a fucking air purifier into this room for days because I did the Foley and fucking the dust got everywhere.
That's crazy.
It sucked.
That's crazy.
The sacrifices we make. For
the sacrifices.
We thank you, TJ.
Worth it.
Thank you for your
The
sacrifice.
Patreon actually funds TJ's lung cancer bills.
You said my lung cancer bill.
No.
If you or a loved one suffers from mesothelioma, you may have worked on the Weave podcast.
Eventually I'll have like one of those like little like voice box things and it'll just be me as Fee like, hello.
Yeah, we've had a lot of sound like lessons learned. Like this will be a fun fact is that I had ADR the entire first episode because my microphone, I used the wrong microphone.
Yeah.
Yep.
But now Clark has a very beautiful microphone.
I do have a very nice microphone. Partially because I was like, never again.
I had noise gaining issues on a couple of my episodes, so I had ADR stuff too. So yeah, training your wheels for sure.
Yeah, but like, so we've learned so much in these, like in the first 4 episodes. Like, I hope one day that we can make a video for like YouTubers and that explains how much fucking work went into this, so that way people don't. Yeah, like people need context for like. I will never complain about an actual play ever releasing a week late ever, because there's 10 times more work. It's not just sitting down and recording. It's like, here's the edit. The edit needs to be approved. Hey, this sound effect is wrong. Oh, there's gating here. Oh, there's all of this stuff. Oh, hey, the music here doesn't actually line up with the creative vision. Let's revise it.
Yeah, and to be fair too, we are in like, if you were to plot the fucking what different actual plays do, we are definitely on the maximalist side of the equation.
I mean, even just the edit is like easily 60 hours per episode, and everybody's editing their podcast episodes. Maybe not quite as heavily as we are, but still, you're cutting down.
I mean, I'm sure that there are some actual play podcasts that exist where they sit down, they record, and then they go, yeah, we say anything questionable? No, upload.
Yeah,
and that's valid, but
yeah, I mean, so yeah, there's things like Crit Roll that's streamed, where you can't really edit.
It is that production side. It is kind of like a completely different flavor of Critical Role. Like you get a very more curated experience. You know, and it's different ends of the spectrum of what people are looking for, and I hope they enjoy the curated experience that we provide them. And what I thought was probably my favorite part was our foray into the serpent itself, into Mama.
It was very cool hearing how, like, not only the statues described, but like how we were like testing the waters with it as players and going, all right, let's tie a rope to the serpent's fang and climb down, and all right, where are we now? You know, and like
the
just
when
like
we stood in the sand and tried to figure out how to pass through the sand, how we had to get through the walls. And like there were interesting puzzles that did not rely on any visual component or anything that the audience couldn't also understand. I thought that was a very
Yes.
fine line to ride there.
What I love about incursions, especially this one, because was that now that we're out of it, I can completely spoiler free tell you exactly what was happening in that incursion. Yeah, so the twist of the incursion was that the incursion itself is about lies. It is always telling. It is always trying to lie in some way, whether it be that the sand is solid, whether or not, and this is not an illusion lie. It is a much more metaphysic. Like the metaphysical properties of this lying, the magical properties of this lying are such that it simply denies the reality that it is. It can't. Which is the reason we actually had a cut in the middle of episode 2 was I had to basically give a long explanation so that way people didn't think I was trying to fuck with them. Because there was I was trying to fuck with all of you because that's why I DM. But
we cut there's the big cut in episode 2 with the whole joke about the fast forwarding. But beyond that, we cut a lot of us just scratching our heads and just trying literally anything we could think of in order to figure out what the fuck was going on. And ultimately, none of that really went anywhere. It was all sort of well, you don't really know what's going on. And so that was cut because, y'all don't need to sit through us just banging our head against the wall.
That's not fun.
But I think that was fun in its own way because it was it was us trying to figure out a problem and coming to the conclusion of this is a really hard problem and we need more context.
Yeah, and as a player, I think I enjoyed the puzzle of it, even though I think I recognize that it probably would not have made a particularly good podcast. But I think even without seeing us puzzle through all of it, I think it's still understandable, and I think the sort of conclusion that we came to almost against our will, and I think some of the decisions that specifically Arlo had to make to navigate the lying space ended up being really cool. And I really hope that that is understandable to everyone else because I love it.
Also, if you're a GM and you're oh wow, I really want to run this dungeon for my players. Don't fucking run this dungeon. This is a dungeon meant for my friends who I knew really well and an actual play. This is not a very good this is not a very good dungeon to run for your friends if it's your first time running, because it required me knowing the players really, really well to know I could get away with something kind of this esoteric and weird.
Yeah. There you mentioned something at some point about how you were mulling over including a mechanic where if we made a check or if we hit an enemy, we actually didn't because the world was lying to us or something.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of things I was considering and I eventually settled on a more lightweight way of dealing with it, more narrative way where I was okay, what I really just need to do is find ways where the world just feels like it did something else. And told the players that they feel lied to. As soon as Marq was I think it was Marq who said I control water. I meant stone or something. I was this isn't stone. Both are wrong.
And I think that was a very strange thing for Arlo to process, as well as myself. But I think that ultimately made everything far more interesting, because I always love when there is something mechanically that makes the magic of the book written magic of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition work differently or be justified differently. Love those kinds of things. I mean, that was a big thing in Keep on the Borderland that I think was really cool about the way that Clark ran that campaign. Was I was playing a wizard and I literally got to change the way that magic was written in a lot of ways because I was a wizard and had studied and could do that. And I think that's a really cool thing that Clark does with magic. That I think came through really well in this particular incursion, especially from the perspective of a spellcaster. Non-spellcasters, please put forth thoughts, but at least as a spellcaster, I was totally in.
Well, that would be only Diego at the moment. We mentioned earlier about Clark's ability to provide scaffolding for the episode, and I think, or for arcs, and I think one thing that was especially cool was the sort of narrative pacing of we're figuring out the incursion, and as we figure it out, the stakes kind of rise. We get to the church and we see all of that bullshit. But to me, the thing that really sent it home is when we got to the point where we fully understood the mechanic of like this world runs on lies, like Arlo is traveling through walls and we're doing all this different stuff, we meet the fucking Kalamkari. And I think like the big mic drop for me in that episode was the "we come in peace."
Yep, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. How like lies fold into the politics of the way that these cultures are interacting with each other, especially centered on Pontus Gefyra, which again we get into a little bit in later episodes, but I think this is the catalyst of it, and it's so cool.
It's definitely like the thematic kind of line of lies of starting with this lie-themed dungeon, and now we're going into a game of intrigue, which consists of a lot of deception.
The Marq casting, was it Detect Thoughts?
Yeah, something like that.
At the end of episode 3, that was actually such a huge deal because complete like serious like spoiler here is that if that eel had made it into Pontus Gefyra,
that would have been
the situation would have been much more complicated.
That's true. It was Detect Thoughts. Yeah, and just understanding that there was another mind present that was thoughting. It was
No, I'm sitting here thinking like, and the audience will see when they listen to future episodes how twisted everything gets, but I'm just sitting here thinking about the clusterfuck we're in right now. Like, yeah, another faction in the middle of that? No, thank you.
Oh man, that was gonna be so fun.
That's enough slices.
Bunch of little angler men just running around causing mass chaos.
See, the angler men are one thing. It's their parental unit that is
their absolute parental
their
unit.
Absolute parental unit.
Well, they've sort of got like a fractal thing going on, which is you've got the big eel, and then you have all the mamas who like bite onto an egg to create the big eel, and then you all have all the anglermen that bite onto the eel, the mamas, to create more anglermen, and then you have like the little eels that are birthed from that who bite onto the anglermen to create more little eels.
And I don't really like any of it, to be honest. I mean, cool as a concept, but like, wouldn't want that in my Pontus Gefyra. Not in my backyard.
I'm doing my part. So yeah, the anglermen, they were my favorite part of that dungeon. Easily my favorite part of that dungeon. Because I knew the moment I was like, there's an incursion, I decided like, I knew I did not want the first monster of this campaign to be goblins or kobolds or anything like. I want it to be mine, so that way everyone knows that this is a campaign that will get really weird at times.
Yeah.
I love psychedelic gonzo shit in my RPGs.
So you say that, and I want to be clear because Diego wasn't here for this because this was years ago. Back in the ye old days of Keep at the Borderlands, one of the very first big like factions that we met were a troop of kobolds that were introduced to us with one of the most cursed pieces of audio that has ever graced my ears. I should like go dig that up and post it in chat to show Diego. It sucked. It was bad.
Post it under the fucking episode on Patreon.
Yeah, I'll find it, and you know what? Actually, even better, it will be the outro music to this episode.
Oh my gosh.
13 fucking kobolds. Holy shit.
So you all have that to look forward to. Sorry. And sorry, Julia, who's not even here at the moment, is going to find out in episode that she's going to be editing that in.
So I guess maybe now I'm just any questions about the first 4 episodes from all of you?
I think I've brought up all the ones I've had throughout this. But yeah, this kind of brings us to the last kind of segment, I guess, of recording of just questions in general.
Why did you put us in a political game, Clark? Why must you put me back here?
Why did you give us the thing we asked for, Clark?
I love it, because I love it. I'm gonna eat it up.
I know that it drives Clark nuts because Clark like thinks so much about all of the implications of all of the things that happen in their games, and I appreciate that so much. But as a player and a character, I don't want to know. And I think that like that's a cool thing about like the Talkback episodes and like having these Q&As, which I think will be great for people who are chomping at the bit for more. But as a player in this world, I kind of want to see it unfold around me, and understand it as my character understands it. So that's a long way of saying I don't have any questions, but I'm vibing so fucking hard.
Or like even questions about like the process. Like I'm happy to, this is the chance for I have to really talk about everything.
I do have a question, and I'm kind of taking Diego's bag a little bit here, but I'm really curious, like, what was everybody's favorite part of the pilot?
My favorite was the mic drop of "We Come in Peace."
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
dope.
that was
probably
pretty
mine
fucked.
too. Especially speaking from the Calamari kind of standpoint in the party,
Yeah, I think Bon and Genevieve's first couple of interactions, incredible. I think Arlo and Fee's first couple of interactions, also incredible. But I gotta say, it's the mic drop, of course, incredible. But I just think that the way that figuring out how the magic was working in the incursion is my favorite part.
The church was my favorite part. I am a slut for lore, and getting like walking through there and suddenly there's a cursed church with like all these different things, and like the fucking braid does its shit, and like I loved that sequence.
I also loved the little nod to Signosian fortune telling.
Yes.
Very excited for when, I guess it is going to be next episode.
Hang on.
Shh, no spoiler.
No spoilers.
Yeah. A full beep.
Yeah. Next episode when just like 7 seconds of beeping here as I like put in filler. And then Hippodamo.
Oh, Julia, you were gone when we were talking about this, but I want you to know that we have decided the outro music for this episode is going to be, you remember the Kobold March from Keeping the Borderlands?
I think my favorite part of the episodes is either the vignettes in the intro, or I thought it was really neat getting to individually see how everybody's spellcasting looks and feels.
Oh,
there's
yes,
four
yes,
casters in this party of 5, and we all got to do a little bit of it at least. And all of us came up with like interesting and very different ways to cast spells. Except for Bon. Bon's just a fucking punk.
Me, Bon, punch good.
A punk without braid, though. I mean, that's its own kind of
It's
magic,
true.
right?
The braid is pretty sick.
The braid does do things of what you're speaking of, but Bon does not.
Yeah, Bon's out here always cursing magic users, but like, secret is he kind of is one.
I mean, honestly,
I'm not Baka. No, I don't like you, magic Baka.
I really enjoyed having the chance to do that little curse eater reveal, because I don't think, did anyone, TJ knew because TJ had to know?
No, I didn't know. So Diego on the back end was like, here, read my character sheet, don't read the part about the braid. And I was like, you got it. And so that's what I did. I read Diego's like lore document, but I did not read that part. So that was a surprise to me too.
So you did know Bon was something called a curse eater, but you didn't know what that meant.
Right.
Okay. But like the reveal of curse eaters as sort of a part of, as a thing that exists in this world, I thought that is something I really enjoyed doing.
It is cool seeing that, like, because again, I'm kind of like TJ, where I knew something was up because I drew Bon. And I think the description of the braid is pretty telling that it's not just like a rope.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what do I mean by that?
What do you mean? When you touch it, it feels oily to magic users. That's normal, right?
I think that's
cool.
Classic rope stuff.
Yeah, that's normal rope
It feels
shit.
like the rope is touching you.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
But yeah, I think it was cool to see that reveal after, working with Diego to kind of design what that was going to look like.
I'm reading back through my notes from these sessions, and actually I think maybe my favorite part to play through, or at least the part that stuck with me for the longest after the session, was the end of session 3. or the end of episode 3, where we get to the people who are imprisoned, and it's not clear whether or how many of them have been like mind controlled, and just slowly like trying to piece together information about them. That was really cool, and that I remember that lingering with me for a while afterwards, thinking like, long after the session was over, going to bed that night being like, that was weird, right?
I think I was really afraid for a while that the thing that Arlo had seen that kind of led us to like figuring that whole situation out wasn't actually real, or that like there was a lie within that, that like we didn't get all of the parasites, or that like something was gonna come back with us, which I don't know, maybe that's still,
Well, Fee did legally collect some of the liquid.
Yikes, but also yes.
Hasn't done anything with that, but technically that is there.
Does anyone else have anything to add about the first 4 episodes, production side or like narrative kind of character side, before we wrap everything up? Okay? Does anyone have any last words or comments?
I definitely want to say, like, hey, if you're here listening to this, thank you. Thank you for being here listening to this. We are having an absolute blast creating this for you. It's a lot of work, but like it's shit. It's dream shit. We want to do this. And so if you're here and you're supporting us and you're listening to this episode, thank you. You're the reason why hopefully we will be able to continue to do this in the future.
We appreciate you, listener.
We sure do.
Big time. Anyone else anything they want to say or plug? Any more plugs and card plugs?
You should listen to my wife's band. They're really cool, and I spent a long time working on their EP.
Yeah, Ebony Darkness plug. Ebony Darkness plug.
At this point, Ebony Darkness better have like 2 albums out.
Clark and Mark, throw out your commissions, because they'll be open when this will be out, right?
Yeah.
I do commissions. I draw things. Artbymark.card.co. Please look at my things. Thanks. If you pay me for things, also good.
My band is Ebony Darkness Band. You can find us at Ebony Darkness Band on Instagram and Tumblr and Blue Sky.
As far as plugging other media goes, fucking Worlds Beyond Number. Like, not enough people listen to that. It's Brennan Lee Mulligan. It is hands down the best actual play I've ever listened to. Like, not even close.
It's very good. We definitely were not inspired at all by them on our production value.
No.
Or our like aim for like a slow moving, wide ranging arc.
Yeah, if you think you see influence, no you don't.
All right, I'm leaving on that. Everyone say bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Say bye.
I love you. No, I don't love you.
I love you though.
Yeah, Clark loves you.